Welcome back to Low Stress Math with Mrs. Bono. We are in Book 3, Chapter 7, Pythagorean Theorem, Lesson 3a. Find the length of the hypotenuse applications. And I know it's been a while, we had a little vacation, so let's go over a few things. What's the hypotenuse? It is the longest side of a right triangle. So I'm just going to write that down, longest side. And we like to use the letter C for the hypotenuse in the Pythagorean theorem, so a little puffy cloud of happiness around that to help you remember that the hypotenuse is C. Right. A rectangular field with a length of 80 yards and a width of 60 yards. What is the length of the diagonal? Well, I have to draw it, but when I make a drawing, I try to leave room for the units. So I'm going to draw myself a rectangle. Look at all that space I left around it. That's so I could do the length of the field, 80 yards, and the width of the field, 60 yards. And it's a rectangle, so I know there's a right angle there. Now a diagonal goes either from one corner to the diagonal opposite corner, so it's going to go like that or like that. And so I have a diagonal going this way. And I'm going to call that C. So now I'm just going to go back. Rectangle, check. Length of 80 yards, 80 yards. Width of 60 yards, 60 yards. Length of the diagonal. I'm going to highlight that because at the end, I have to take the question, which is what is the length of the diagonal, and turn it into a sentence. I'll get back to that. Now, the Pythagorean theorem, as easy as ABC. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. But because I'm looking for the hypotenuse, I'm going to put the c squared first. So I'm going to write it this way. C squared equals a squared plus b squared. Only because I really like to have what I'm looking for on the left side of the equal sign. So fill in some stuff. C squared equals, doesn't matter for A and B, so A squared is the altitude, B is the base. You can have it backwards, still get the same answer because it's addition, and addition is commutative. So we get, so C squared is going to be 60 squared plus 80 squared. C squared is 6 squared is 36. 10 squared is 100, so 3600. Plus 8 is 64. 2 zeros, 6,400. 3,600 plus 6,400. C squared is 10,000. But that's C squared. We don't want C squared. We only want C. So you have to square root both sides of this. Now the square root of C squared is C, and the square root of 10,000 is 100. And I have to go back and say, oh, here we go, yards. I'm going to put that on there too. So now I have the right answer. But explain your answer. What is the length of the diagonal? I use the question in the answer. The length of the diagonal is 100 yards. And there we go. What if you spell something wrong? It's a math class. I'm not going to worry about spelling. As long as I understand what you're writing, we're okay. Now, let's take a look at down here. A 26-foot long ramp is used to reach 10 feet up a wall. The ramp covers a horizontal distance of 24 feet. To make the ramp less steep, the horizontal distance is doubled to reach the same 10-foot height. Okay, horizontal distance is doubled to reach the same height. How long will the ramp need to be to the nearest hundredth of a foot? So there's my question that I'm going to have to turn into the answer. So let's go back and take a look at that. 26, 10, 24. Well, 26 is the longest number, so that has to be the hypotenuse. So I'm going to draw two pictures here. I'll draw one up here of the original ramp, which was 26, and it was 5 feet high. So this must be the horizontal distance, 24 feet. Now I'm doubling the horizontal distance. So it's still going up 5 feet. This is still 5 feet. But now this has doubled to 48 feet. So I don't know what the length of the ramp is. I do know that's a right angle. So let's solve it. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. C squared equals 5 squared plus 48 squared. C squared equals, wait, that's not 5 squared, it's 10 squared. Bono, 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 what did you do? Where is the whiteout? Shh, don't tell anyone. This is supposed to be 10 feet. I have made a mistake. A big one, too. Bad Bono. This is going up 10 feet, and it stays 10 feet. Do not be defeated. So this is 10 squared, which is 100, plus 48 squared, which is 2,304. So C equals 2,404. And I don't know the square root of that number. So I'm going to take my calculator, and I'm going to put it here where you could see it, and I'm going to clear it up. So second x squared, to give me my square root sign, 2,404, correct? Yeah. And when I press that, I get, oh, dear goodness me, look at that very long, crazy number. And I need it to the nearest hundredth. So the 3 is in the hundredths place. So let me write this out and show you how I round. So C equals 49.03060. I don't need any more ... because I'm only rounding to the hundredths place. 3's in the hundredths place. 0 says leave it alone. So I'm at C is approximately 49 3/100 feet. So down here, explain your answer. How long will the ramp need to be? Round to the nearest hundredth. The ramp needs to be 49 3/100. The ramp needs to be 49 3/100 feet. Okay, not too bad. You've got this. Turn the video off, do the problem on your own, and when you come back, we'll go over it. Turn the video off and do the problem. All right, so for this problem, I have the picture here already. We just have to label it. A banner with flags is tied to the top of a 5-foot flagpole. That must be here. 5-foot flagpole, this must be the 5-foot flagpole. And pulled taut. That's a word you don't see too often, so let me just show you what I mean by taut. Now, this is a little piece of string I have here. I'm going to pull off a piece of string. That is a rather loose piece of string. If I pull it taut, that means tight. So this has been pulled, come on, Bono, you can do this, taut. So that's tight. That's why it's nice and straight and the flags are flying beautifully. So taut means tightly. So this is 5 feet, and it is the base of the flagpole is 9 feet away. So this is 9 feet. And I don't know what the length of the banner is. So The question is, what is the length of the banner? And we're going to need that for our answer, nearest hundredth of a foot. I like to round to the nearest hundredth. It happens kind of often. So, look at this picture. This little piece is 9 feet. The big piece is 5 feet. Do you remember way back when they told you when your numbers don't match your picture, what it was called? Think about that. Do you remember it? Yeah. In not drawn to scale. And this is definitely not drawn to scale. And it goes in those sort of brackets, not drawn to scale. You'll see that a lot on exams. Now I have to find my answer here. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. Always write the formula. Always show the substitution. Don't lose points for silly nonsense. C squared equals 9 squared plus 5 squared. C squared equals 81 plus 25. So C squared equals 106. And the square root of that is 10.929563014, yada, yada, yada. I don't need all of that. I need to look at the 9, and the 5 says go up. If I round 9 up, it's going to be 10, and that doesn't fit. But let's look at this. 29 hundredths rounded up is 30 hundredths. So that 29 rounds to 30. So C is approximately 10 and 30 hundredths feet. I still have to write a sentence. The banner will be 10.30 feet. Always put the question back into the answer. Let's look at the next one. Pythagorean theorem on a coordinate plane. How far are -2, 3 from 1, -3? I'm going to make this nice and big so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. -2, 3 is here, and 1, -3 is down here, and I'm going to connect those 2 points together. Now, how could I find the distance? Well, I know the Pythagorean theorem, and it is on graph paper, so one of the things I can do is I can make my own triangle. Yeah, why not? I know it's going to be a right triangle because graph paper made out of boxes. So this is already a right angle. 1, 2, 3 boxes by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. Now I can find the length because I know the lengths of the sides of that right triangle. I could fill those into the Pythagorean theorem and find C, the distance between the 2 points. So C squared equals A squared plus B squared. C squared equals 3 squared plus 6 squared. C squared equals 9 plus 36. So let's see, C squared equals 45. I don't know the square root of 45, but I do know that my calculator can tell me. Remember, green button, x squared, 45, and now look what happens. I get 3 square root of 5. So this C squared is 3 square root of 5. Is that helping? That's not helping. That's not a distance. I mean, it is the distance, don't get me wrong. That's actually correct distance. But what I want to do is I want to change it to a decimal number and then round it to the nearest hundredth. So my C squared is approximately 6.6 6.708203933, yada, yada, yada. 0, 8 says go up. C is approximately 6.71. Now, look at me making mistakes all over the place today. This isn't C squared. Neither is that. I, back here, should have written that that's square rooted. That's how you get C, and that's a square root. Okay. On the bottom, I have to go back and write how far is blank from blank? How far is -2, 3 from 1, -3? -2, 3 is 6.71 from 1, -3. There you go. Put the answer from the question. All right. Next page. You try it on the top. You can do that problem all by yourself. I'll give you a minute. I hope you're stopping the video and trying the problems. So let's make the graph a little bit bigger. And -1, 5, +3, -2, and connect the dots. And then, straight down. Make my own triangle. It's a build your own triangle day. Here we go. Here's my right angle. And 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 7. So now I can come over here. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. C squared equals 7 squared plus 4 squared. C squared equals 49 plus 16. C squared equals 65. And that's no good. I have to go back and I have to square root both sides of that. And what's the square root of 65? I don't know. I'm put it in my calculator. Come here, you, my beloved calculator. Second x squared, 65. And I get 8.0622577748. You know that it's actually more than that because it's irrational. It never ends. So C is approximately 6.06. Wait, sorry, that's not a 6, that's an 8. Yeah. Make it look like an 8. 6, 2, 2, 5, 7, 7, blah, blah, blah. Looking at the 6, 2 says stay the same. So C is approximately 8.06. There's no unit there. You might have to write the word unit. That's all right, you can do that. So, what is the distance between the points? The distance between the points is 8 6/100. Ta-da! All right. Ooh, which way do I go? Here we go. Which way do I go? I drove 2 miles east to Alex's house. Then I drove 15 miles south to soccer practice. So here, I know I'm going east first, then south. So if this is me, and I go to Alex's house, it's 2 miles, and then I go down to soccer practice, which is 15 miles, I'm looking for the Superman distance. If I could fly back and be Superman, I'm looking for Superman distance C. All right. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. C squared equals 15 squared plus 2 squared. C squared equals 225 plus 4. C squared equals 229. And the square root of that to the nearest hundredth is approximately 15.13. C is about 15.13 miles. Yeah, not horrible. Explain my answer. The soccer field learn to spell Bono is 15.13 miles from my home. There we go. The next two problems on page 79 are your homework. Good luck, and you can do this. I'll talk to you soon.